deflect blame here. I'm just trying to say that we all have to collaborate to protect our communities. I think I saw my brother in the back room here. He got broken into, and they stole his car. It affects everyone in the community. So my recommendation is enforce the law. It's there. Now, we are going to make it even more difficult for the judges to release them, but we need to make certain that they don't get caught. Now, anybody who's caught with an organized criminal activity, because it exists, auto theft is organized crime. It's actually coming from South America, and I always thought it was in Asia or in the Arab countries, but it is a problem. They know it, so let's fight it. And now they have to fight criminals outside of Canada as well as inside. The worst part is the youth are the real victims. It's the kids who they not indoctrinate to do the crime. So telling them they can't have a driver's license or they can't have a gun license, they don't care. They're criminals. We have to go at the root cause. We can't let those judges let these folks out. That's the bottom line. And it's not 3 strikes, you're out. It's 1 strike, you're in. That's got to be the way. Thank you.
Yes. And if the problem is essentially that youths are being recruited and they are young and there are different rules for them, then what is our program for these youths? Because what we're doing now is not working.
No, we're enhancing protection measures. We're working very closely with Peel Police. We're working closely with the RCMP and OPP. The cross-border security measures are being taken from the federal government's perspective. No, it is a collective attack on organized crime. Unfortunately, there are still those that are committing it.
Evelyn, did you want to comment on this?
Well, I don't know if I can necessarily add anything else after those two. And I'm no expert on car theft. I mean, I know personally for my neighborhood where I live, there is plenty of it too, so I'm certainly not immune, and I've had a parent who's had their car broken into as well, so I know that this is something that's endemic and is not getting any better. I guess for me, just kind of given that I'm the more youthful one here, that I'd say my take on this is looking at it from the perspective of, like, you know, the root cause of this, at least for me, just speaking personally, is that, you know, these youths are obviously getting into crime and gangs and all this, but I'd like to say it's because, like, they are lacking in the fact that they don't have jobs or can't afford to go to school or all these things. So to me, it's like, if we had a society that, you know, was giving our youth a chance to have stable lives, they would not be turning to all these other methods to be making money, regardless of what exactly it would be for. So to me, it's spending time making sure that we're supporting our youth as they're getting older and not giving them an excuse to be robbing people and stealing cars and ending up in jail. Because let's be honest, most people don't really freeform. I mean, our jail system is not really built properly to take these criminals and, you know, have them turn their lives around. So I think that we need to focus first on the root causes of why all of our youth are getting involved in this stuff, and sit down with them and be like, how can we help you thrive better that way you're not doing these types of things?
Thank you. Next question.
Good evening, Trevor Isaac from Park Royal Community Association. This question is posed to all 3 candidates, and it's surrounding national security. Family farms in Canada are struggling for survival. The state and capital gain taxes are making it increasingly difficult to pass family farms from one generation to the next. Many young people are forced to leave family businesses, leaving more agricultural lands in the hands of agribusiness. What would you do to safeguard the integrity and security of the national food supply?
All right. This question is on national security and specifically on farms. And Charles, do you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, we're talking about supply management, right? So we have negotiations right now with the United States. We have a free trade agreement that was signed that enabled us to protect farmers, to enable us to ensure that independent farmers could succeed in their business, be it dairy, eggs, wheat, because they're competing against major corporations in the United States. So we had a free trade agreement to enable that to be so. Now, Donald Trump called that a tariff, because once it reaches a certain threshold or cap, the prices go up to protect our Canadian farmers. So we will continue to do that. Now, this is where we're going to need real leadership. And I got to tell you, A guy like a career politician who's never made payroll, who's never had to stand up to ensure the cost of goods, who's never had to negotiate, he never even put a bill before the House. He doesn't even take security clearance in order to foster these negotiations. You need a leader who has negotiated, who deals with other parts of the world. Canada can benefit from greater trade for our farmers with other parts of Europe, Africa, South America. We have an opportunity to really capitalize on all of us. But one of the ways we do it is to break down those interprovincial barriers, because that too has been a cost to our farmers. So I'm excited about where we're headed, because I think the potential for Canada is still untapped. And some of this is critical. Now, Buy Canadian is also a good thing. So let's make sure we protect and support our farmers by buying more of that food product here at home. While we struggle with not having wheat from Ukraine, right? That's a big cost to the world market. Yes, we will support supply management as we go forward.
Evelyn?
I'd say, just echoing what you said, I don't know enough about supply chain management, so I can't really have an opinion on this yet.
Thank you. Oh,
No.
sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay, Charles. It's all good. Yeah, we have a problem with our small family farms. That's what you're talking about, right, Trevor? That's what you were referring to. So I have one of my strong fellow Greens, Naomi Hunter. She's the head of the Saskatchewan Greens provincially. She's also running federally again. And her and I had this conversation because we talked about, like right now, Saskatchewan is full of canola oil. But she said they're all internationally owned farmers, and they're farming it on big scale. And because of the way they're farming, they're having issues with, what did she call it? I got to quote this, cabbage butterfly moths, right? Which then come in and wipe out crops. We need to take a more green approach to farming as a whole, and ensure that we are taking care of the land that everything's being grown on, that land is turnable. A lot of crops that we grow, if we grow them full cropping, I love to refer back to my Indigenous people who used to live this land, right, and take care of it. And they grew, like if you look at a Three Sisters garden, for instance, you can continue that, those plants continue to give the nutrients. You can continue to farm that same land, and the nutrients will go back into it. Because of the way that we mass farm, it is shutting out, number one, the small farmers because of the cost. They can't keep up with the costs. But we also are killing the land underneath, so then we have years that we can't even farm some land. So we need to fix it, and we need to put resources and money behind ensuring that we have farmland that does not die. And we need to, there's a whole pesticide thing too. Like, I could talk all day. Yeah, thank you.
What are your plans to protect us online, especially from the monetization of our personal data by tech companies and hackers?
The topic is online protection. And Mary, you go right ahead.
Sure, I don't think there is one. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to say that as a bad thing. I can give you another book to read if you want. It's called Nexus. But it's a scary world. Our world, the new currency is data, right? So companies around the world, and I carry my data in my pocket, and they know exactly where I am, what I'm doing, what I'm buying, what I'm shopping on. This is the new. I don't know if there's protection, and I don't mean to sound like doomsday-ish, but you can't do anything now without doing it online, right? Even like with our local, I think. So I don't know if there's a solution, and I don't mean to be a doomsdayer, but data is the new currency, and and AI is here to stay and take over the world. And listen, we can work with it, but I'm just gonna. Don't go.
I have to say, I agree with you, Mary. As someone who very much is, online everywhere these days, and I too am guilty of using AI and all this, online stuff a fair bit. Yeah, I'd say we're just sort of at that